When we think of Pixar, more or less Pixar Animation Studios, but Pixar, what comes to mind? Ratatouille, The Incredibles, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, Toy Story, WALL-E, Inside Out, or what about Cars 2? Oh, just me? I see how it is. But what about Up? Released in 2009, Up was another Pixar hit, receiving critical acclaim and making $735 million at the box office that year. It won 2 Academy Awards, including Best Animated Feature and Best Original Score. It's also one of 3 animated films in history to be nominated for the biggest prize of them all, Best Picture. But after all of that, after all of the hype, after all of the buzz about it, it kind of slowly faded away into obscurity, to an extent, which would be a similar fate that A Bug's Life would have, which actually could be its own video in and out of itself. And then one day, the whole world decided that the opening sequence, which is about, I'd say like the true opening sequence, the part that everyone thinks about, it's about 4 minutes, is what makes it one of the best animated films of all time. And I say to that, no fucking way. Here's the thing. I love Up. Its story is original, it's charming as hell, all the characters are great, the music slaps, and it's definitely one hell of an adventure. But when you talk to most people, they're usually going to be like, well, what about the opening? You know, with Carl and Ellie going through the stages of life. Like, what about that, man? I'm like, sure, that's cool. But, like, that's not the entire film, though. Like, it's so much more than that. Think of it like with Toy Story. It kind of suffers from the same problem, where everyone, it's actually the opposite effect, where everyone talks about, like, when they're all on Bonnie's porch, they're all sitting, they're all saying goodbye to Andy, who's going off to college. Like that's the moment that really sticks to people. It's like the whole other, like, hour and 20 minutes, it just didn't do anything for them, at least. Onto, like, the emotional level. And then in the case of Up, like, when Carl gets to Paradise Falls for the first time and he sees it once the clouds, like, clear and he sees it over the way. Or when Charles Muntz actually turns out to be the entire villain out of nowhere. Like, this was a guy that Carl looked up to when he was young, and it actually turned out that he went mad because he was looking for the snipe. And it's kind of the whole trope of, like, you should never meet your heroes and whatnot. So it kind of goes through that. And then I think the nailing in the coffin is when Carl's house literally gets set on fire. And no one seems to, like, bat an eye to it, from what I can tell. And, like, I'm not saying people's opinions aren't valid. If you still think, like, oh, the opening is, like, a grandiose thing, then more power to you. But, like, I'm saying, like, we need to, like, stop making it the main focal point, and it only being the only best aspect of the film. That's kind of the part that gets a little annoying. Up is kind of like the one that we're kind of just like, but it kind of exists. So, like, what does that really, like, entail? I just think that, like, people should really start, like, sitting through the entirety of, like, some of these lesser known films and, like, truly appreciating what it's trying to do, because every film is trying to do its own thing, and Up is kind of like the catalyst of, like, an adventure disguised as, like, an emotional roller coaster. So yeah, hopefully people will stop dick sucking the opening, because that would be nice. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos just like this or others like it. So until our next meeting.